Welcome to the next session, students. In this session, we are going to discuss about peptides. Okay, we are going to discuss about peptides. First, let us discuss what actually peptides are. Let us know the definition of peptides first. Okay, students, definition of peptides, very important. Condensed products obtained by the addition of amino acids. By the addition of 2 or more amino acids, condensed products are obtained. That condensed products are called peptide. Okay, the condensed products which are obtained by the addition of 2 or more amino acids are called peptides. Okay, and the linkage, when we condense them, a bond is formed with a linkage C double bond O NH. This is called peptide linkage or peptide bond. This is called peptide linkage or peptide bond. Next, a peptide can be a dipeptide, tripeptide and polypeptide. A peptide can be a dipeptide, tripeptide and polypeptide. Let me write and show the examples of dipeptide, tripeptide and a polypeptide. Example, do you remember the structure of glycine, students? Yes, we have written it many times. HCH NH2 COOH plus NH2 CH COOH. It will be clear if I write NH2 here and H here. Here water will be eliminated. Okay, H from NH2 group and OH from COOH group will be eliminated as a water. So you will get the product NH2 CHH. Okay, students, C double bond O, I'll write CO as C double bond O NH CHH COOH. This is the dipeptide which is formed by adding 2 molecules of glycine. This is dipeptide which is formed by adding 2 molecules of glycine by eliminating water molecule. Okay, students, now let us do the next. Now, let me prepare tripeptide. I will prepare tripeptide by adding glycine plus alanine plus glycine, right? Glycine, alanine, glycine. Students, do you remember the structure of alanine? Okay, we know glycine, NH2 CHH C double bond OH. Okay, plus alanine, NH2 CH CH3 C double bond OH. Okay, plus another mole of glycine. You will get NH2 CH C double bond OH. Okay, what happened here? Water molecules are removed. So let me write HOH so that I can show the elimination of water molecule. Here also let me write H and OH so that I can show you the elimination of water molecule. So by the elimination of water molecules, you will result in NH2 CH C double bond O NH CH CH3 C double bond O NH CHH, C double bond O, OH. This product is obtained by addition of 3 amino acids, hence it is called as tripeptide. Okay students, polypeptide means combination of number of more than 3. Okay, combination of number of amino acids result in polypeptide. Let me write the polypeptide chain once for you. Polypeptide chain will be like this: NH2, okay, CHR, C double bond O, NH, again CRR, okay, C double bond O, NH, and this continues. Okay, X-ray studies of a polypeptide chain. X-ray studies of a polypeptide chain gives us the information that here in the peptide bond, the C double bond O, N, and the hydrogens around them are in one plane and the molecule is flat. By the X-ray studies, we have been observed that the molecule will be flat and the peptide bond, C double bond O, NH, and the hydrogens around the bond are flat. Okay students? Now, let us know how we will name peptides, the nomenclature of a peptides, and also let us learn about the classification of peptides. Nomenclature students. For example, if we have prepared a peptide by the combination of glycine, phenylalanine and glycine, what will be the name? Let us learn. First, glycine. What is the structure of glycine, students? H. Right, let me write like this: NH2, CHH, C double bond O, OH, plus NH2, CH, CH2, C6H5, C double bond O, OH, plus NH2, CH, H, C double bond O, OH. What is this compound, students? Glycine. This one, alanine, and again glycine. Okay students? Now here what we have to do is we have to eliminate water molecules, right? This is the structure of phenylalanine. Do you remember, students? In the place of H, if you substitute C6H5CH2, then this is the structure of phenylalanine. Okay? What you will get is NH2CHH, C double bond O, NH, CH, CH2C6H5, C double bond O, NH, CHH, C double bond OH. It's very easy, students. From this we are eliminating water. Here also from this we are eliminating water. Thus, by eliminating water molecules, we obtained a condensed product which is known as peptide. Okay, how we will name? Let us first glycine. So H with GLY, gly. Next phenylalanine. Next phenyl, allyl, alanine, followed by glycine with OH. You have to state the name with H and end with OH. Starting you have to write the abbreviation forms: gly, phenyl. Last, the completed one we have to write the full name. For the ending one, we have to write the full name. Okay. If it is written in names, or simply GLY, PHE, GLY, OH, you can write like this, or you can call it as glycinyl, phenyl, alanylyl, glycine. Glycinyl, phenyl, alanyl, glycine. Okay students, glycinyl, phenyl, alanyl, glycine. Understood students? This is the nomenclature of amino acids. Next, classification of amino acids. Okay students, now next classification of amino acids. Sorry, I am still in amino acids students. Classification of peptides. Okay, classification of peptides. How we will classify peptides? Actually, peptides are classified into two types. There are many ways for classifying a peptide students. So, let us learn few ways, right? So, peptides can be classified in two ways. They are homomeric and heteromeric peptides. What are homomeric peptides? Peptides on hydrolysis, if they produce only amino acids, then they are called as homomeric peptides. Peptides on hydrolysis, if they produce amino acids and other products also, along with the amino acids, if they produce other products also, then they are called heteromeric peptides. Homomeric, only amino acids should be produced as a product. Heteromeric, along with amino acids, other compounds also formed as a products. Understood students? How we will obtain peptides on hydrolysis? Peptides on hydrolysis. To classify into homo and hetero, we have to hydrolysis peptides. Okay? And the next, they may be aliphatic peptides. Simply to tell, they may be cyclic or acyclic peptides. Okay, they may be cyclic or acyclic peptides. Right students? Cyclic peptides means, what are cyclic peptides students? Which have a ring. And acyclic peptides means which do not have a ring. So, the peptides which contain a ring are called cyclic peptides, and the peptides which do not contain a ring are called acyclic peptides. Now, let us classify our cyclic peptides. Okay, cyclic peptides. Cyclic peptides are classified into two types: homodectic, heterodectic. Homodectic, heterodectic. Okay students, homodectic means in the ring only amino acids are present. That means only amino acid linkage. I mean only peptide bond linkage. CONH only should be the linkage. Whereas in heterodectic peptides, along with the CONH linkage, okay students, along with the CONH linkage, other types of linkages may be present. Understood students? Normally, peptides on hydrolysis give, if only amino acids, then they are called homomeric peptides. Along with amino acids, if other products are also formed, then they are called heteromeric peptides. In this case, if you take cyclic peptides only, they are again divided into two types: homodectic, heterodectic. How you define them? CONH, homodectic peptides contains only CONH linkage, whereas heterodectic peptides contains CONH linkage and other linkages also. For example, oxytocin. Example of heterodectic peptide, oxytocin. OXYOTOCIN. It has peptide linkage and other linkages also. This is about the classification of peptides. Now, let us move into the next concept, synthesis of peptides. Okay students, let us move into the synthesis of peptides. Here students, for example, I am synthesizing a dipeptide of glycine. I am adding glycine to another glycine. How I should add? See here, C6H5 CH2O C double bond O Cl is benzyl chloroformate. Okay, for synthesis of peptides in the first step, we have to add benzyl chloroformate for the amino acid which we have taken. Now here I am taking glycine. HC double bond OH. What happens here? HCl is removed. Here the reaction is not the removal of HCl, but we are protecting the N terminal of amino acid with benzyl chloroformate. We are doing protection. Okay, we are protecting the N terminal of benzyl chloroformate. So what happens? You will get C6H5 CH2O C double bond O NH H C double bond O OH. Okay students, in the next case you have to treat it with SOCl2. If you treat it with SOCl2, what happens? SO and O, SO2, HCl will be removed. So you can remove SO2, SO and oxygen from here, and HCl, H from here, Cl. Totally the OH group is removed. In the place of OH, we will get Cl. CHH, C double bond O, Cl. Okay students, again what you have to add? For this, now you have to add second mole of glycine. Okay students, again from here H and H2 can be written as NH and H no. Again from here H and from here Cl will be removed. You will get C6H5 CH2O C double bond O NH CHH C double bond O NH CHH COOH. You are getting a product like this, right? Now you have to reduce. Let me do in the top this on reduction. This on reduction, what happens? Here hydrogens are added. Here hydrogen is added. You will get a byproduct, and here you will get NH2 CHH C double bond O NH CHH COOH, which is a dipeptide of glycine. Can you see the whole procedure student? Here you are removing HCl, that will be used again. Here we will use Cl, and here H. We are doing reduction, and already HCl is released, that Cl is used here, and the compound of benzyl chloroformate will be back, and we will be left with dipeptide of glycine. This is our final product. Okay. How we will write HGLY GLY-OH in our peptide abbreviation. First we will write H, last OH, and the prepared glycine molecules GLY. Okay students. In this way we can synthesize the peptide. What we have did students? Benzyl chloride format has been taken and we treated with glycine, and by removal of HCl we got an intermediate which is further treated with SOCl2 to form another intermediate, and to that intermediate you are adding glycine. Again HCl is removed, and on further treatment you will get dipeptide of glycine. What happens if you are adding glycine here and doing the whole procedure, and you are adding the second mole of glycine here? Here you are taking first mole of glycine and here you are adding second mole of glycine. Why is it so? Because if you not protect glycine, if you treat directly glycine with another glycine, glycine chloride may be formed. If you not protect it, glycine hydrochloride may be formed. I mean, addition of glycine and glycine simply leads to another products instead of a dipeptide. That's why we use the protecting group. This is a benzyl chloroformate. It will be a protecting group in the step 1, and final step it will be left as itself. After the reaction is completed, the protecting group will go away by itself as a byproduct. Understood, students? Here we are using protecting group. Finally, it will be removed. This is about the synthesis of peptides. Next concept, structure of peptides. The structure of peptides can be said as we have C-terminal and N-terminal. Structure of peptides can come under two categories. One is C-terminal and the other one is N-terminal. Let me explain. First, if you take glycine and add alanine to that. So here NH2 CHH C double bond OH plus NH2 CH CH3 C double bond OH. Students, this is the structural formula of glycine and this is the structural formula of alanine. Do you remember? No? The H place will be replaced by CH3, then it is called alanine, right? If you condense them, you will get NH2 CH C double bond O, NH CH CH3 C double bond O. What we are doing here? Peptide linkage. Using these two ends, we are removing water. You got a peptide linkage C double bond ONH. Here, the C terminal is glycine and N terminal is alanine. I am sorry. Okay, C terminal, let it be like that. Here, the N terminal is this glycine and C terminal is alanine. Why is it so? The N terminal is glycine and the C terminal is alanine. Why is it so? Because here in N terminal glycine, we have free NH2 group. We have free NH2 group. Okay. Whereas in C terminal, it is called C terminal because we have free COOH group. Understood, students? Here N terminal is glycine and C terminal is alanine. N terminal is glycine because it has free NH2 group. C terminal is alanine because it has free COOH group. I will reverse it. Now I will reverse it. Previously I added glycine to alanine. Let me add alanine to glycine. Okay, alanine to glycine. So NH2 CH CH3 C double bond OH plus NH2 CH H C double bond OH. Water is eliminated here, H2O. So you will get NH2 CH CH3 C double bond O NH CHH C double bond OH. Okay, peptide formation. But here we have taken alanine first. So free NH2 group is present in alanine. Hence it is called as N-terminal. Here COOH group is present. Hence it is called as C-terminal. Okay, in the previous case I have combined glycine plus alanine. What happens in this case? Glycine is N-terminal. Okay, glycine is N-terminal and alanine is C-terminal. And alanine is C-terminal. Okay, students? Now let me prepare the synthesis. Let me do how we can know the combination of amino acids present in a polypeptide chain. How we can know the combination of amino acids which are present in a polypeptide chain. Polypeptide chain. I am taking polypeptide chain. How do I know the combination of amino acids which are present in a polypeptide chain? Students, we can know by three methods. One is Edman method. Here we use N-terminal reagent. Next, carboxyl degradation method. Here we use C-terminal reagent, and the third is enzymatic method. Okay, Edman's method, we use N-terminal reagent, PTS, parathiocyanate, phenyl thiocyanate. Here benzoyl chloride followed by treating with ammonium thiocyanate. Here enzymatic method, we use two enzymes. One is leucine aminopeptidase and carboxypeptidase. Okay students, all these methods are used for the degradation of polypeptide chain, so that we can degrade the polypeptide chain and know by which the amino acids are combined, by which what amino acids are combined to give the polypeptide chain. By these degradation methods we can easily know. Let me explain from the bottom. Enzymatic method. In enzymatic method we use two enzymes, leucine aminopeptidase and carboxyaminopeptidase. Leucine aminopeptidase and carboxypeptidase, what they do is, first leucine aminopeptidase attacks the free end of the amino group. So on its attack, further hydrolysis gives the amino acid which is at the N-terminal. Again after that one amino acid is removed, again it attacks another free NH2, N-terminal amino acid, and on hydrolysis again that amino acid is also removed. It will remove one by one N-terminal by attacking N-terminal amino acids. It will degrade one by one amino acids which are present in a series of peptide chain. Next, if you take carboxypeptidase, what happens? It attacks the C-terminal, and further hydrolysis the first C-terminal amino acid is removed, and again it attacks the second C-terminal. Again on hydrolysis the second C-terminal amino acid is removed. Again it attacks the third C-terminal. Again by hydrolysis the third terminal amino acid is removed. So by this enzymatic method we can easily remove the peptides. We can identify the peptides which are present in the peptide chain. We can identify the number of peptides which can be present in a peptide chain by degrading with enzymes using leucine aminopeptidase and carboxypeptidase. Understood, students? Leucine is used to hydrolyze the N-terminal amino acids by attacking N-terminal and carboxypeptidase by attacking C-terminal. Next, carboxyl degradation method. In this reagent, benzoyl chloride followed by ammonium thiocyanide, what happens? It attacks the C-terminal amino acid. On further process, C-terminal amino acid of first amino acid from polypeptide chain will be removed. Again, it attacks the second peptide amino acid with the C-terminal in a polypeptide chain. Further reaction, the second amino acid will be removed. And again, it attacks the C-terminal of third amino acid which is present in a polypeptide chain. On hydrolysis, on further treatment of ammonium thiocyanate, all those things, the third C-terminal amino acids will be removed. By this way, the polypeptide chain, which is a lengthy chain, can be degraded by one. Coming to Edmann's method. In Edmann's method, we use the reagent phenyl thioisocyanate. For example, if a polypeptide chain is formed by 1, 2, 3 combination of amino acids, it attacks N-terminal. It is an N-terminal reagent. It attacks N-terminal and removes amino acid 1. Then remaining 2 plus 3. Again, it attacks N-terminal of 2 and removes 2. So, left over with 3. Same in the case of carboxyl degradation method. It attacks C-terminal and removes 3 first. So, we are left with 1 plus 2. Again, it attacks C-terminal of 2. So, we are left over with 1. So, one reagent attacks from N-terminal to remove the amino acids from peptide chain. Other reagent attacks C-terminal to remove the peptides from polypeptide chain. In this way, the degradation of polypeptide chain can be done to know what will be the combination of that polypeptide chain. For example, they have given any polypeptide sample to you. To know what amino acids are combined, you may do Edmann's method or carboxyl degradation method or enzymatic method. Okay, students? Let us do one of this method. Next method. Let us explain about one of the methods of degradation methods, carboxyl degradation method. Carboxyl degradation method. What happens here? For example, let us take a polypeptide chain. To that we'll add C6H5C double bond OCl, benzoyl chloride. We use benzoyl chloride in carboxyl degradation method. So, let me take a polypeptide chain NH2CH R1 CONH CH R2 CONH and CH R3 COOH. Okay, students, peptide chain. What happens here? HCl is removed. So, you will get C6H5 C double bond O NH CH R1 CO NH CH R2 CO NH CH R3 COOH. Okay? Just HCl is removed. H from here, Cl, and we are joining the whole thing. Next, what happens here? We'll treat with ammonium thiocyanate, NCS. Okay, what happens? You will get C6H5 C double bond O NH CH R1 CO NH CH R2 CO N. Here you will form a bond here. HR3 here C double bond O and NH. Next, you will add a base. If you add a base, what happens? You will get C6H5, C double bond O, NH, CHR1. Let me write here, students, so that it is visible to you, right? We are just adding a base. Suppose, for example, you add an OH. What happens? Here, the bond will get breaked. You will add OH minus here, H plus here, so that you will get C6H5, C double bond O, NH, CHR1, CONH, CHR2, okay, COOH plus NH, C double bond S, NH, C double bond O, CH, R3. Okay, students, you will get an heterocyclic derivative. For this, you will add barium hydroxide only for this. So what happens? You will get NH2, CH, R3, COOH. So R3 amino acid has been detected. R3 amino acid has been detected. So you should take benzoyl chloride and add polypeptide chain. You will get a reactant. You will get a product, and this product is treated with ammonium isocyanide. You will get a heterocyclic derivative that is treated with a base. So that derivative is cleaved into two parts. You will result with the polypeptide chain without R3. Third polypeptide chain. We have taken the combination of 3 polypeptides. Here you will remain with only 2 polypeptides. And the third will be in heterocyclic derivative. Again, we will add barium hydroxide to that. You will get R3 amino acid can be detected. Again, we will attack benzyl chloride to this. That follows. So this reaction is repeated until all the amino acids which are present in the polypeptide chain will be detected. Understood, students? It's tough to practice. Please practice more so that you can easily remember carboxyl degradation method. Okay, students? Next, I have already discussed about Edmonds method. Here we are attacking N-terminal of the amino acid. Okay, in one case we will attack N-terminal of amino acid, and in another case we will attack C-terminal amino acids. So attacking one terminal, I mean N-terminal and C-terminal is not important, but the degradation of amino acids are important. So which reagent degrades which amino acid? Okay, students, by these tests we can easily degrade amino acids and find whatever the amino acids are present in that polypeptide chain. I hope you understood the topic. The amino acids in the polypeptide chain can be detected by how many methods, students? 3 methods. Edmonds method, the other one is carboxyl degradation method, and the other one is enzymatic method. Applications of peptides, or I will not call it as applications of peptides. It's very important to call it as biological importance of peptides. Biological importance of peptides. Okay, students, this is the biological importance of the peptides. What is the biological importance of the peptides? First one, let us see some peptides. First one, oxytocin peptide. It is very interesting, students. Please learn about that oxytocin peptide. Oxytocin peptide is a nanopeptide. Nanopeptide means it has 9 peptides, amino acids in the chain. Oxytocin is a nanopeptide. It means that it has how many amino acids, students? 9 amino acids in the chain. And this is released by the pituitary glands. Okay, it is released by the pituitary. I mean, it is not released. We should use in biology the word secreted. It is secreted by the pituitary glands. And what is this? What is the use of this peptide hormone? It is a peptide hormone. It is used to contract the uterus after the childbirth. After the childbirth, the uterus is contracted with the help of this oxytocin. Not only this, it also do one more favor for our mankind, that is, it provides lactation to mammal glands. Okay, it provides lactation to our glands. So, it contracts uterus and provides lactation. The next one is vasopressin. The next one is vasopressin. What is vasopressin? It is also secreted by pituitary glands. It is also a peptide hormone which has 9 amino acids. And the last one is angiotensin. This is the hormone which can be detected when a person is suffering from hypertension. This hormone is detected when a person is suffering from hypertension. This is a octopeptide. This is a octopeptide, means it contains 8 amino acids. Octopeptide means it contains 8 amino acids. This is all about peptides, students. Okay. You have to learn about the definition of the peptide, classification of the peptides, right? You have to learn about the definition of the peptide, classification of the peptides, synthesis of the peptide, degradation method, one of the method. You may write about Edman method or carboxyl degradation method, and you have to write the biological importance, which is very important, is oxytocin, which contracts uterus after childbirth and provides lactation and you have also to write about the structure of peptide, N-terminal amino acid which contain and C-terminal amino acid. You have to write also the synthesis. Synthesis means, in synthesis we have used a protecting group which has been left at the last of the reaction. So prepare a short note on peptides, students. Prepare a short note on peptides using your own sentences. You can easily prepare a short note on peptides. Thank you, students.